Now we're moving up to Comrade Nelson Nana Nwafo, who is the Executive Director, Foundation for Environmental Rights Advocacy and Development, FENRAD, and is joining us from Abia State. Good morning, Comrade Nelson.
Good morning, my brother. Thank you for having me.
All right, Comrade Nelson, we understand that FENRAD has been at the forefront of championing the cause for good governance in Nigeria. But your recent article that was published to ensure that National Assembly look into its budgetary policy, and we want you to bring us up to speed to that deliberation. How far have you come with that policy?
Yeah, because we actually looked at the budget processes right from the budget consultation to the committee stage, to the level of budget approval and its implementation. And we found out that there are so many lapses in the processes. For example, if you understand some of the issues that really came up as within the National Assembly members, where the issue of budget padding came to force, and there's a lot of illegalities and also there's a lot of questions to the budget processes and how it's been administered and implemented in the National Assembly. So we pushed especially for the review of the entire processes, so that it will become participatory. Community can own the process, and they can also monitor the budget processes and ensure that they are implemented. So we have a lot of concern about the budget process. We also looked at about the jumbo salary of the legislators, what they receive as a salary, some of the allowances, housing, wardrobe allowances, car allowances, and some other allowances that is actually very outrageous, especially in a country now that facing economic uncertainty and inflation at a higher level. So we advocated that there will be a review of this salary, so that we can use some of the money to accommodate some of the social safety nets and some of the areas that need the social intervention in the economy.
Invariably,
Hello?
you are saying that, are you saying that we've not made any headway so far with this policy or this agitation by FENRAD?
Yes, because of you see what happened at the 2024 budget, and 2025 budget is also in the process, right? And all those agitations was not actually taken care of. You see the huge amount of money that was budgeted to procure vehicles for the lawmakers. You begin to see recurrent expenditures that continue to reoccur in every year, and it could be a form of procurement of equipment, procurement of office furniture, procurement of some of the things that have been procured in the other previous year. You could not to see them reoccurring in the current year budget, despite the lifespan of that particular item that was procured. We're supposed to last either 2 or 3 years, depends on the specification. So we felt that it has not been implemented. The salaries, the lawmakers are still collecting jumbo salaries. They still collect allowances and enrollment. They still goes on overseas travels. So a lot of overburdening of the workforce is still going on. There have not been a cost. They have not actually considered the cost of governance that we also advocated for in the part of the policy intervention and the engagement as regards to the budgetary process and the salaries of the lawmakers.
Interesting so far. But comrade, Comrade Nelson, let's look at the budgetary framework right now, even for 2025 budget. I understand that the budgets and procedures have already commenced, and a lot of ministries, agencies, and parastatals of government have already bring it in their input. I want to ask at this point in time, FENRAD tends not to talk before the budgetary passage, but rather comment at the budgetary implementation. Is this what we're going to be seeing even at the proposed budget for 2025?
I missed you some point, but I actually know that the discussion for budget 2025 is actually going on right now, and we actually are looking at for public hearing, where people will look at the budget documents that have been presented, and also see how stakeholders can make their input. So such discussions should be institutionalized, where committee leaders, stakeholders, civil society, and other groups have to be actively involved in trying to look at the figures, the budget documents, and also the implementation of the last year budget, which is captured in the budget performances report. That will also guide people to do an appraisal both of the last year budget and also engage in the coming 2025 budget.
All right, Comrade Nelson, I understand that you're very busy this morning, and I don't want to take much of your time this morning, but I want to say thank you so much for being a part of the show this morning.
Thank you, my brother. And we also continue to advocate for a budget that is better, that is very inclusive, that citizens have to be involved. People should know what the government is doing. There is a value for money. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. We'll go for a short break, and when we come back, we'll be talking to Mr. Simeon Toluwani Borukini, who will be joining us from Ondo State, and he is a senior legislative aide to the Senate President. Please go nowhere. Signature Morning continues in a moment.